you know, the season came around and I'd seen a big improvement in the, you know, in the 3 or 4 weeks that we'd had in between, and the couple of games, the games in the Inter-Toto, the games out here against Leeds United and Cardiff. You know, there'd been good signs. It had been a bit patchy, but there'd been spells in the game where we'd moved the ball around really well and created chances. And the players were starting to believe, I think, what we were asking them to do could work. So going into Kilmarnock, you know, we were hopeful, but you can never guarantee results in football. And you know, I'm sure that Kilmarnock had prepared well as well. We'd seen them pre-season play against Derby, I think it was, and you know, put up a decent performance and had some decent players. But you know, we went into the game expecting and hoping to get a result.
Well, I thought we played them off the park. We just couldn't have scored to start with. It was like we were getting the shots in, but nothing was like breaking for us perfectly.
Yeah, left at the end of the game with that first sensation that I was to feel a few more times during the season of a very hollow, empty feeling really after losing a game of football that you're left with. And but the message to the players was that, you know, there was good signs, and we've got to keep working away and keep doing what we believe in, and the results will follow. Well, Motherwell was a very untypical Hibs performance. I think it was a day when I discovered a bit about myself, that I could find the necessary passion to instill in the players to when your backs are against the wall and you were facing a little bit of criticism and cynicism about, you know, going back to, you know, talking the talk and walking the walk, really. The players reacted to when the backs were against the wall. At a team like Motherwell, who will scrap and fight their corner against anybody, we did just that on that day, really. We stood our ground, and we stood up to a very physical team, an intimidating team at times, and we came out 2-1 victors, even though we lost 2 men in the battle, should we say, and we finished with 9 men on the field. We got a result to O'Connor goals, and you know, delighted to get our first points. I think the Dundee game, whilst it can be almost legendary now, it's I think for a vast majority of that game, for 70 minutes, the football was what we had worked on for the whole of pre-season, really, and up to that point, for 70 minutes, the team flowed, they moved the ball, they played forward, they ran forward, they supported each other, and we scored great goals. And,
just, I don't know, crazy game. We were playing brilliant that day. I remember seeing them playing, what was it? Real Madrid? What was it? Something like that. We were just passing the ball.
Well, unbelievable
for
for 5 minutes, weren't they?
Couldn't get the ball off us then.
4-1, and Derek lashed a volley in his left foot, which he was to do a few more occasions. Unfortunately, he was ruled off for offside that day. And from that moment, they made a substitution, and Brady came on and put one in the top corner, which gave them a chink of hope, really. And
we were hanging on. When it went 4-0, I was like, blow the whistle. You know, I was like, get us off the park, because we were cruising at 4-1, and then, you know, to lose another couple of goals, and they scored the last minute. You know, we were on the back foot, and you know, they could have easily have scored, but you know, it finished 4-0. And then the day we were delighted, but nah, we should have had them buried. You know,
it was a pretty full-on dressing room after the game, but the big thing for me was that lessons had to be learned, and as the season went on, hopefully they were. And you know, in the period after that, up until, you know, well after Christmas, I thought, you know, there wasn't too many occasions when we lost Leeds.
Derek, you were coming to find a wee bit of form. As you say, you were injured at the start of the season, but getting 2 goals against Inverness, you must have been pleased getting that up and running straight away.
I wanted the gaffer to think I was good enough as last season. Obviously, you want to try and prove yourself to the new gaffer, so me and Gary's done well playing the guard, so we're getting back on the goals in that again, and getting Hibs victories, especially at Aberdeen. It's a tough place to go against Inverness or Aberdeen. So I was delighted, just delighted to get back on the score sheets.
The game itself against Celtic, you know, I'm a big believer when you play the Old Firm, you've got to try and score first, really, and bring them onto you a little bit more, a bit over cavalier, then you can pick the holes in them. And you know, we got off to a good start that day. Deflected goal really from Baldy, which looped in, which gave us a great start.
So was the connection with Alan Thompson that actually injured you, or was it the way you fell?
It was the way I fell, because when I fell, my ankle must have like snapped over the way, and when I fell, I heard it going like cracking out of place or whatever it done.
Scott Brown is another player really that, you know, we've missed badly this year after that game, because everybody's telling me again from day one that there's this hot head really going around, in trouble with referees, getting sent off, getting booked every game, and to be fair to Scott, I haven't seen that all season really. They give everybody a lot of confidence and belief that, you know, the old firm ain't invincible and you can go and take them on and get something. And we took a lot of plaudits for, you know, even taking a point off them. And I remember in the dressing room after the game just telling the players that, you know, we could see that they were improving and they were getting better and they were going to be a force in the league this year.
The Aberdeen game was a massive game for us. To get one up there was brilliant, and obviously scoring as well. We had a good crowd up that day as well, so we keep all the fans happy.
You know, the Dunfermline game, I think they scored last minute really, or a minute or two from the end, and on a day when we probably did enough to win the game on a surface that you know, wasn't wholly conducive. You'd have thought it would be because it's a consistent surface, but it was a very, very lively surface as well, and the ball didn't actually sit down. It was probably, you know, not as conducive as a nice grassy pitch that we know we would play on Easter Road to our style of play. But, you know, disappointing to lose a late goal there.
Yeah, we were playing good football with a plastic pitch, and we were keeping the ball off them, and I think they scored in the last couple of minutes, didn't they? The last 5 minutes or so. Yeah, and it was quite, I remember the goal actually, it was quite a lucky goal, because I think the striker went to control it and it went under his foot through, obviously Gary Caldwell was marking him, went through, and Simon Donnelly gambled in behind and managed to get through and goal, so it was a little disappointing to lose the 3 points, but I suppose it's just the lucky breaks that you always talk about.